Hey, internets. It's Paul here
It's Rob.
with the magic word, and today we are going to continue our discussion. We have a video we did on one drop mono blue commanders, legends slash commanders, and we're going to continue this discussion, flesh it out, do some brainstorming, and I think you're gonna like what you see.
Oh yeah. Here we go.
So last time in the other video, we had the flying angry man, and now we're going to keep this thought experiment going. What else do you got for us, Rob?
Well, I was thinking something that wasn't human because I want to get more into the fantasy thing. Less humans, more like everything else. So for blue, something that you don't see a lot are elementals. So I want to do like a blue elemental, and that makes me think of like water, air, and then like snow because like blue can freeze things. So I was thinking like a little like snowman or like a little ice cube that just like runs and gets your people. So I was thinking something like, because it has to be legendary, so it has to be like cool. So I was thinking about giving it flash. So picture this: it's a little ice cube, has flash, and when it enters the battlefield, it can tap and freeze a creature for one turn. So tap target creature, it doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. What do you think?
I like it. So it's like when you're trying to put the ice tray back and the last ice cube jumps out of the tray right before you close the door of the freezer because it has flash, and then it comes down and it chills your foot a little bit.
Yeah. I like it. I like the idea of having like a cute little versatility spell ready to go. And so it's not something that's too oppressive because you're just tapping down one creature for one turn. And so it's really good in the beginning if you don't want to get hit by an early beater, especially
Right.
green with all your haste, evil green. And it's cheap enough that so it'll still be useful because like tapping a creature, I'm totally okay with that. Having it be reusable, so your little ice cube melts, it dies, it goes back to the command zone. You can cast it again for 3, which is nice because that's just frost breath, I think.
Yeah.
So that's not unheard of.
Right.
And so you can do it again. And so I like it as kind of like a little rattlesnake card. So people will see it in your command zone. They don't really know if they should announce an attack towards you because, you can always tap one of their attackers in response. So it's a nice little rattlesnake card to encourage your opponents to attack each other and leave you alone for a spell. But, I mean, if they have a lot of blocker or a lot of attackers, then it's okay to like just like go swing out. They'll lose their biggest one. That's okay. But they can still hit you. So it's not too oppressive, but it'll slow the game down.
Yeah.
But it
Which is
could
what
save
blue
you a
usually
couple
wants
life
to do.
points.
Right. Blue wants to slow the game down till they can get their card draw popping off. And then also, of course, they want to save their life points because they want to use that resource. If they get to 1 life and then win, they're perfectly fine with that.
Okay, so what if, I was just thinking about that, how can we make it more legendary-y? What if, of like along the same lines as it's in Ice Cube, what if it was like a little snowball that's like getting bigger and bigger? So like it's rolling down a mountain and it just keeps like massing in size, getting bigger and bigger. So what if you are playing this as a general for a snow deck? You have just tons of snow-covered islands, and it has the ability where you can pay like blue and a snow mana. You bounce a snow land back to your hand, and you get to put a +1/+1 counter on him. So like he's rolling on your island, picking up all the snow, so it's not a snow island anymore. It goes back to your hand, and now you have like this slightly bigger snowball.
I like the second part of it. I don't like returning lands because whenever a game goes long, every time you return a land, it's like you skipped a land drop to me. So what I was thinking of is, while you were mentioning that you can play it for 1 and then play it for 3, there's this mechanic that they've used a couple times. They used it in the Commander Storm cycle where our little ice cube or our little snowball buddy has something for however many times you've cast it from the command zone. So I thought it could be like freeze X creatures for every time you've cast it from the command zone. So for the first time you just freeze one, then the second time you freeze two. I don't think that's too broken because the commander tax ramps up pretty quickly. So it's not like you're freezing, and even freezing is like, it's not so degenerate because it doesn't like kill the creatures. It doesn't bounce the creatures. The creatures are still there. It's just like chill out for a turn or two.
Literally.
Right. So what do you think about that?
I like that. That's a little more friendly. I was thinking, because I didn't want to, I want it to get bigger. I want it to be more impactful as the game goes on. Because I don't want it to be like the blue Isamaru, where it's just a vanilla and that's all it does. I want it to be better as the game goes on.
Speaking of Isamaru, when you're telling me that I have to return a land, that reminds me of Sweep, which is the ability from Kamigawa where you have to return lands to get a big spell. It was a horribly received mechanic. No one liked it because it's like you're sacrificing your own resources. I could understand.
But I like how you have to make a decision. There's a give and take. Is it really worth it? Do I really want to do that? So I was thinking of the Moonfolk the entire time, because the Moonfolk love to bounce lands back into your hand as the thing. And then also Kefnet, the first Kefnet from Amonkhet.
Right.
You could pay 4, draw a card, and you had the option to return a land to your hand, because Kefnet could only attack if you had 7 or more cards in your hand. So, blue kind of has a history of wanting to put lands back into your hand, but it can be brutal.
So the ability is 1 and snow?
And snow.
Return a snow-covered island or a snow-covered land?
Snow-covered land. Just if you have, what is it, the Mouth of Ronan? Mouth of Ronan? Yeah. It's maybe you want to bounce that because I don't need this color list. I want to leave all my blue producing lands on the battlefield.
Bounce your Dark Depths.
Yes, exactly. Someone's going to, they know what's coming and they aim that strip mine at your Dark Depths. You're like, no.
That would never happen.
And you play it again and then you start taking off the ice counters.
Combo.
I don't know. We'll leave it up to the fans. Which one do you think is better?
Yeah. Is it Chili the last ice cube, or is it what's your snowball name?
Can I go ahead and steal Frosty? Is Frosty copyrighted? Frosty the Snowball.
Frosty the Snowball? Yeah, I think that's allowed. That's in public domain. So last time we talked about 1-drop with different abilities, like Ovia, Rhys. We made up our own mono black Rhys. So I'm gonna push us. I don't know if this 1-drop is gonna be Rhys as a blue, or if we have to think of a different character who this could be. This is going to be a 1-drop in blue that has 2 activated abilities.
So what should the first ability be? So it has to be something that costs 3. 3 and tap. What could this blue Rhys do?
I'm thinking, without being too exciting, you could do a really boring archivist card. So it's draw 3, tap it, draw a card. 6, tap it, draw 3 cards or something. I don't know.
Well, the first ability is actually pretty good because on most draw on creatures is 4.
So forget that boring, just draw a bunch of cards.
There are too many cards that already do that. So, is scrying okay? What about pay 3, scry 2? Tap it, scry 2.
Pay 3, scry?
Because scry, okay. So Rhys's first ability should be tied to a creature. So the green-white Rhys is pay 3, tap it, make a creature. Make a 1/1 elf. So what if this Rhys, is pay 3, tap it, scry X, where X is Rhys's power, which would be scry 1 to begin with. Not very exciting, but I mean, if you put some equipment on it, put a sword on it, and then you can scry 3.
But then you have to tap instead of attacking with your sword.
Oh, no. Okay, so that would not work.
What if it's the amount of creatures you control?
That could be good. That would work. Would that go more into its second ability? Because the second ability cares about all your creatures. Or could the second ability, because what is the green spell? I know, I have a fidget. I have a fidget spinner, everybody. Old school. Well, okay, so I want to kind of like go away from the first ability and talk about the last ability. What if the last ability was pay 4, blue, tap Rhys, and you draw a card for each creature you control? That's like biomancy. No?
Shamanic Revelation?
Shamanic Revelation. There you go. That seems pretty good to be able to do that over and over again. I like that.
Yeah.
And the first ability, what if the first ability made a creature? What if we did have a blue token maker? What if it made, I'm trying to think of blue tokens that blue has made, like a squid token or
a squid or
I know starfish tokens for those
kelp.
who don't remember. A tentacle. Right. What if this is a mini octopus and it's making tentacle creatures? No. Yeah. Is that a flavor win?
It's Ultros from Final Fantasy VI.
There you go. They would have to be like, because they can't be good tokens. They would have to be 0/1s.
Right. Yeah. It's just a little tentacle. Wait, what's the? No, the Nadir Kraken makes 1/1 tentacles, right?
Yes, it does.
You gotta have tentacle consistency. So
okay, so if we're going with consistent 0/1 blue tokens, we can make kelp tokens. We can make starfish tokens.
Yeah.
So a legendary starfish?
No, but it you choose. You can make a kelp one turn and then a starfish the next turn.
Okay, so yeah, so he's sowing algae into the sea, growing his kelp bed, restoring the ecosystem, and then so he's doing that for a couple turns, and then whammy, when you get to 6 mana, you can draw a card for each creature you control.
It could be Jory and trying to revive the floor beds of Zendikar.
Boom. We did it. That actually doesn't sound like a bad card. It's versatile, it's making creature tokens, and it's drawing cards, so it's doing two different things. The abilities are kind of related, and there's a little versatility because the creatures, I mean, you could play Sunken Ruins, that blue enchantment, to give all your blue creatures +1/+1, so now they're 1/2 tokens. Oh, so you could go wide.
Yeah.
With this mono blue general.
Mono blue tokens and mono blue anthems. You get there.
There you go. It can be done. I think we just found some underdeveloped space in blue. It's going to do it poorly. It's going to suck.
Right.
But
what's going to suck is when we make enough of these to make it's going to be a format where you can only play 1-drops. So it's going to be worse than tiny leaders. It's going to be like microscopic. What's similar from a leader?
Nanoliters?
No, but different from leader. Can't be a general. Can't be a leader.
Oh, and we can't do a lieutenant. Lieutenant's taken.
Oh, right.
Nano captains?
Nano captains. Yeah, these are going to be the face cards when you go buy your Wizards of the Coast product for nano captains.
There we go.
There we go.
Wow.
Okay, so their product, it takes them a while to come up with the products, so watch this video, set your calendar for about like a year and 9 months or something like that for when you can expect to get your copy of Nano Captains off the shelf. Okay, and we'll see you then in the future.